All right, it's Tuesday night, so it's Big Three time, and of course, joined by Dylan and Jordan. What's going on, you guys?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's
Man,
going on,
not
y'all? What's
much.
going on? That is Tuesday, so we are 3 days away from the epic show of our time, of our lifetime, the N1 podcast. So it's gonna be a
Exactly,
fun one.
definitely. There's a lot to go over. Um, Baseball got their awards, that are out. A couple of them were already announced, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Dre, what's up? How you
What's up?
doing,
What's
man?
up?
Dre, what's going on,
Um,
man?
you got NBA action, of course. NFL. We're going to have to talk about probably the game of the year that happened on Sunday. So that's later on. But yeah, so you guys on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Tiki Live, do like Dre, drop a comment. We'll shout you out. And, if you have questions, drop them there. If you got your own opinion on what we're talking about, drop them down there as well. And like I said, we'll pull you up and, add you to the show. So appreciate you guys tuning in. But let's go ahead and get started with these baseball awards that um, have been announced. A couple of them, some of them haven't. Because I think the Rookie of the Year was announced already, which went to what's
Julio
Rodriguez out in the
Rodriguez
Oh,
and
Rodriguez.
Michael Harris. Michael Harris the second.
I'm surprised Pinion didn't get a vote from the Houston Astros.
Nah,
He
you,
got
you
the he
weren't
got
going
the
to
World
beat
Series.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, he got World Series. He got that.
Yeah, what's up,
Rodriguez had
Key?
an amazing season. What's up, Key?
But
Key,
yeah,
Key.
Rodriguez was a lock for the American League. So, all right, Pena, he can't feel too bad about that. Like Dylan said, he got that World Series ring, so it's all good.
And he got the MVP too, didn't he?
He did. I
Yep.
mean,
He
He
got
got
MVP
both of
of
them.
the he
yeah,
got MVP of the season or MVP of the World Series.
He got a World Series and he got a conference championship.
yeah, ALCS MVP or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to introduce yourself to the baseball world.
Ah, it's like a rookie of the year doesn't seem that big when your rookie season ends in a ring,
Exactly.
and you're looked at as the best player for it.
Yep. Well, actually, I think before we talk about the awards, probably got to talk about the news and free agency with Anthony Rizzo re-signing with the Yankees. Last week was what Edwin Diaz re-signed with the Mets. I know we didn't really talk about that, but Rizzo, well, Jordan being the Yankees fan on the show here, I guess what are your thoughts about that? I'm sure you like the move, but I'll let you say.
Yeah, I mean, very much needed signage. I think 2 years. He signed for his third year for like an option, I think. So obviously, he wants to stay in New York for a couple more years. I know other teams are looking for him. Like I said pre-show, I said like the Astros were looking for him. I think Key said Key was hoping for the the Phillies to sign him. So obviously he's on the market. Obviously, with his talent, but it was a much needed signing. I did see on part of the interview that one of the reporters was talking to me with Hal Steinbrenner or Hall, whatever it is, like one of the Steinbrenners, and he was saying how like I think there was a two-part interview, where the first part, he was like, yeah, we have talent, in the Volpe coming up. Yeah, Oswaldo Cabrera, obviously. So he's definitely gonna have to keep a close eye on those two players in like in spring training. But look to see those guys step up. With Torres probably gonna man the second base. I mean, we signed Rizzo, so he's gonna man that first. The only thing I wish the Yankees did do is let Donaldson go and let LeMahieu play third. But you can have those two guys, Oswaldo, because Oswaldo he can play outfield, infield. And you saw bursts of talent in the playoffs and when we signed them. So and we had Benintendi still. So, but like you said, Kyle, like their main priority is Aaron Judge. But I think that with them signing Rizzo, I think that it moves immediately for him for the Yankees a little bit closer because like obviously and Rizzo and Aaron are best buds. So I mean, I know that doesn't say much, but Yankees are still not done. Trey Turner's in the mix. Like you said, Xander Bogaerts is still out there. I like to think of Verlander.
Is not going there, man.
Hey, people said that when Benintendi, like former Red Sox player. I mean,
Benintendi's not Bogaerts. It's all right.
What up, Coach Dante?
What up, Dante? I mean, yes, the obviously Bogaerts could go to the Yankees. I'm just saying, as the Red Sox fan, I'd hate to see it. I saw Johnny Damon make the move, although Johnny Damon, was okay with that. But Bogaerts, that'd be rough for the Red Sox to watch that happen. I still think if he leaves, it's not to New York. It's probably like St. Louis or maybe the Giants, because I really think the Giants want to make one big splash signing this season. So if they can't get Judge, I think they'll go like Trey Turner or Bogaerts, one of those guys. But we'll see. I mean, free agency is just getting kicked off. Maybe the Rizzo move might start the flow of other free agents to come down the line. Well, Dylan, what are your thoughts on Rizzo re-signing with the Yankees?
I think it's smart. I mean, Rizzo, obviously this is his second year with the team. Best season. He only played, 40, 50-ish games last season with them. He had his most home runs since 2017. Obviously, he's playing a lot better, which is a good side from the Yankees. And like Jordan said, him and Aaron Judge are pretty close together. So, as a Yankees fan, that kind of makes it a little bit comfortable and at least gives you a little more hopes that Aaron Judge is going to stay. It's always good signing a player, like I said, having one of his best, at least, I wouldn't say maybe hitting seasons, but at least when it comes to hitting home runs and just getting on base, it's definitely been one of his better seasons in a while, at least since he's been on the Cubs. So,
just to follow Dylan, I know a couple of diehard Yankee fans like me, a couple of my friends that have lived in Jersey longer than me, and just like Dylan said, I know before the Rizzo signing that people were uncomfortable of if Aaron Judge might stay. But now since Rizzo signing, I feel like people are more comfortable that, like Dylan said, Judge can get a deal done. They feel more comfortable. Like my boy Trevor said that, I feel comfortable that we're going to sign Judge. So, that's a lot more comfortable because, even though he's still on the market, Aaron Judge. But I still I'm a little more comfortable with the Rizzo signing that we can get a deal done. The Giants, I know they're going to have to pitch the sink at Aaron Judge to get him, but like we said on previous shows, Aaron Judge, he's in the perfect market, perfect home run field. He's a fan favorite. So he can go anywhere, but Yankees kind of are the front runners. The Giants are the only team that is trying to make a run for it.
Well, look, Dante's trying to give y'all Verlander.
Hey, I'll take Verlander. I'll take Cole and Verlander, man. Yo, Dante, I'll take the whole Houston bullpen. Thank you, man. Give us the bullpen.
Verlander would be a good addition there. I'm not gonna lie.
Hell, he's 36, 35 or something like that. He's in the mid-30s.
Yeah, mid to late 30s. But he just knows how to pitch. I give him a lot of credit.
Imagine we have Cole, Nestor Cortez, Severino, Verlander. Obviously we got to get a bullpen. It's good. We had a little injuries. We had Chad Green out, Clark Schmidt. Who else did we lose? What's his name?
Chapman's a free agent, right?
Who?
Chapman.
I want him gone, man. I want him gone.
I'm about to say if he's a free agent, there he's definitely not going back there.
Yeah, he messed us over in the playoffs, man. With him partying in Miami and not being with the team. So, hey, you can, I'll give him to Boston, man.
No, I'm good.
He can still pitch. He can still get up there, but he's just you can't rely on him, to.
We need a bullpen for sure, but I don't need him.
Yeah, but Dante, man, I'll definitely take a Verlander off your hands, man.
Well, I guess breaking news of sorts. Terry Francona just won Manager of the Year.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, do they do like a coach or manager of the year? I guess they
Mhm.
do. Yeah. So he's the coach of the Guardians, right?
Yep.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be
Kinda
Aaron Boone.
interesting.
No, it's like I'm trolling y'all.
No,
I'm trolling y'all. I'm trolling.
I would have thought maybe the
I
Orioles
thought the
manager.
Astros because with Dusty Baker,
Well, I think the Astros is just that they're
this is
such a
World
good
Series
team.
is better than that or bigger
Yeah,
than
I
that.
don't know. I thought it would be the Guardians. I mean, when you look at the start of the season, the Guardians were like what, the youngest team in baseball? Wasn't it something like that?
yeah, they're one of them for sure.
Yeah, like, and I mean, look at them. They're the third seed in the playoffs. I mean, it made sense to me. I mean, I picked the Guardians manager, but like also at the same time, I wasn't sure if were gonna get it. You know, they usually give it to like the best like record. So I thought Dusty Baker probably had a really good chance, like Jordan said. But also the Orioles as well, because they had that big run. Like they
Yeah.
definitely
Right.
exceeded expectations.
I thought it would have been a lock for him, or even the Mariners manager, because
Yeah.
the Mariners had all those years of missing the playoffs, and then they finally made it. So that'd have been. All right, Dante. So it looks like I don't mind y'all going out for my Houston Astros players. The New York Yankees need all the help they can get.
Hey,
Try to beat my
man.
Astros.
In my eyes, y'all still cheaters in my eyes. So.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, hey, Coach Dante, man, don't start stumbling that you can't finish, man.
Hey man, all he can say is that they won this year though.
They
so.
won this year, but we'll see. We'll see what comes up, and if they either an illegal bet or at camera somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, I'll give y'all
Yankees
credit
fans
for
will
that.
never let it down until they win another one.
Hey, man.
No. That's like always how you're going to be able to get Astros fans. It's like if you're arguing with an Astro fan, be like, yeah, you cheated one season though. And it's just like, oh.
Right. Let's see. So we got the American League Manager of the Year. I was trying to pull up the National League.
I don't think
Coach
they've
Dante, man,
announced
all
it yet.
love
I'm
Coach Dante,
I'm
all
refreshing
love.
the page where the awards are at. I'm not seeing anything yet. But it's between what the Dodgers, Mets, and Braves managers. So
Did they do the Golden Glove Award? Like,
yeah,
is
they
it like
did
only
all
one
of them.
player? Oh,
No. Well, it's a whole team, but yeah, one player.
didn't the Yankees get it?
Yeah.
'Cause I saw a post on Instagram. It was like Trevino, Judge, Rizzo, like all of them got it.
Yeah. Well,
Did they do some?
I don't think Judge.
the
I don't think
Cy Young?
Judge didn't get it. It was LeMahieu and Trevino, at least on the Golden Glove side.
Yeah, it was Terry Francona. Yeah, that was the manager. Yeah.
Yeah, we got that one, Dante. I was just
We
wondering
were
if the
waiting for the
National League one
National.
was announced yet.
Oh no!
Well, since we're talking about it, who do you think's going to get it?
Damn! Oh man!
It's kind of weird because, like, when you look at all three of the managers, like, none of them really had like late playoff runs. Like Dave Roberts, the Dodgers eliminated by the Padres. Buck Showalter eliminated in the first round.
Was
for
Houston
the
always
Mets.
in the American League?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought because I thought they were in the National League and like before 2017 or 2016, right?
They've been the American League for a little bit now. I think last time they were in the National League might have been in the late 80s, early 90s.
I wonder why they moved to the AL.
Makes
That had
sense.
to. Hey, what's going on, Con
Yeah.
man? How you doing?
I gotta do my research on that. But hey, Mike, how you doing, my brother?
It had to do with expansion. It might have been when when the Rockies came in, and at that
So
point,
they
to even up the numbers, they moved the Astros to the American League, something like that.
yeah, I thought the move was like recent, like 2016, 2016. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so
No, it was before that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay attention to them NL because like I don't. But for managers, maybe the Cardinals manager.
Let's see.
I mean, I'll say the
Well,
Mets, but they kind of laid an egg.
Well, they have the finalists.
Oh, Buck
It's between
Showalter.
it's between they have a finalist. It's between the Dodgers, Mets, and Braves.
Dodgers, Mets, Braves.
Huh. I would.
I mean, like I was saying, none of them
Maybe
really
the
have late
Mets-
playoff runs.
I mean, I'm trying to think like if the Mets run was more unexpected than. Well, I mean, the Dodgers. We knew the Dodgers were going to be good, so I think that might take some votes away. Because I feel like if your team's really good, you got to like set almost like a win record kind of to really get a lot of votes and recognition for it. But a team like the Mets has been kind of down for a while. The fact that they made the playoffs, I think that's going to work. That was Buck Showalter, right, for the
Yeah.
Mets. I think it's going to work in his favor that they made the playoffs at least. I'd probably go Showalter.
Maybe. I don't know, because what isn't the Braves the only one? Braves are the only team out of those three that won a playoff series, right? Because the Dodgers lost because they had a first round bye. The Mets lost in the wild card. At least the Braves won, right? They won a matchup, or did they have a bye?
No, they lost too.
Yeah, they did lose. See. So I don't know, man. I maybe gave it to Dave Roberts just because just the best record at that point. But I guess if the Mets had a little bit lower expectations, they did play fairly well. I could see Buck Showalter getting it.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one.
I don't know. It's none of them really had a story outside of the Mets. It's people expected the Braves to be fairly good and the Dodgers to be fairly good, and the Mets are on the lesser end. At least with Terry Francona, the Guardians were really young and not expected to be super good, and now they're the third seed, so it makes sense for him to get it. But
right,
yeah.
Are all the awards worthy? Is it on ESPN?
Yeah, you can look up the MLB. That's what I'm looking at. They have it actually fairly good, at least in my opinion.
They're doing one award each day. So today was
they're doing two awards each day.
Oh, the American League and National League version.
Yeah, you're right. That's one.
And I think tomorrow might be
it's the Cy Young,
and then Thursday's MVP.
Yep.
We could look at the Cy Young list and make a prediction.
Yeah, well, it's Cease, Manoah, and Verlander for the American League, and then Alcantara, Fried, and Urias for the National League. I might be a little biased on the American League side and say Manoah, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people are gonna want to say Justin Verlander, especially with the Astros winning the World Series this year.
Yeah, who would you pick, Jordan?
For National League?
American League Cy Young.
American League Cy Young. Where are they? What are the candidates for
Verlander?
Manoah, yeah, Verlander.
So Verlander.
Manoah with the Blue Jays, and
I'm trying to go down to the list on ESPN and look at it myself.
Go to the MLB list. Just look up MLB awards.
Yeah,
they have it pretty well.
ESPN, you gotta go through way too much.
Yeah, they have it. They have it very goofy.
All right, while you're pulling that up, I'd probably go Verlander as well, especially coming off Tommy John and the year that he had. I think he'll just be. It might be somewhat because of how his career has been, but he did have a really good year as well. So I think Verlander might win that one easily. I know I had a good year. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'd go Verlander.
Yeah, I'd probably go Verlander.
Okay.
He had a good year, but he had not a great playoffs.
Wasn't he? But wasn't he hurt half the year though, or something like that, or because he wasn't really in the conversation like that half the year. I didn't really see much news about him. Or was he healthy all season, Verlander?
I feel like Verlander was kind of in it all year. It was just
because he came out of nowhere in the playoffs.
Had little runs. Yeah. So Manoah had his run in the regular season, and people were like,
I would say I hate me being a Yankees fan, and if DeGrom didn't get hurt, he'd probably be Cy Young. If DeGrom didn't get hurt or missed a couple months,
that's probably true. He killed it when he came back.
I like DeGrom as a pitcher. I mean, but yeah, I mean, so it's Verlander. You said Nolan, right? From the
Manoah from the Blue Jays.
Manoah.
And Cease from the White Sox.
From the White Sox. Yeah, I'd definitely do Verlander for.
Okay. So National League, we have Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, Max Fried for the Braves, Julio Urias for the Dodgers.
Is that Cy Young?
Yep.
I'm surprised.
Alcantara killed it this season.
I'm surprised Shohei's not on there.
So Shohei's American League.
Yeah.
See, I'm
He got the MVP vote, man. That's
Yeah.
fine. He got the MVP nod. Won't get it, but
I see. I'm so Angels are in AL. I thought they were in NL. See, because
nah.
I'm still thinking they're like I'm still like NFL is like the out west teams are like in are like NFC mainly like So I'm so confused. So Angels are AFC. I mean AL. I'm so confused, man.
I mean, there's like no
It's
perfect
like,
way to
damn.
do it. It's just that National League and American League with both of them both have the East, both have Central.
Like Colorado, like I mean, they're all like West teams. Like LA, they're out there. Like they'll be NL. Like,
yeah. The only thing is that the American League and National League both have West divisions, so then it's just
so
different
confusing.
cities. And yeah, I mean, it can be, especially with the Dodgers being in LA, they're National League.
Like Philly,
The
like
Angels
the Eagles, they're Eagles. They're in the AFC, but they're on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Giants.
No, the
It's
Eagles are NFC.
The NFC, yeah. Like I thought it would be like an AFC team because got Baltimore, Cincinnati. They're East Coast teams, So. That's so confusing.
I mean, that probably would have been an easier way to align everything for people, but they went a different route.
Like India, they have like the Lakers are like the Pacific West, so it's like they all.
Yeah, basketball's probably the one league that does
that
it
makes sense, like
geographically. Like, although you have Memphis that's in the Western Conference instead of being in the East. That's like the one outlier.
Right. But
let's see. All right, so I guess Dylan, who would you have for the National League Cy Young? Who are you thinking?
Probably Alcantara. He had a really, really good season this year. I know like the Marlins weren't like the best team or had the best record like Fried or Urias, but Alcantara just had such a great season. The Marlins were not a team that were projected to be super good. I mean, like he didn't have as many wins as like Urias, but like I still think he had like such an exceptional season. Like it'd be hard for me to pass on him to win it. So I'm gonna go Alcantara.
All right. I think when I first saw the list, I was thinking Fried with the Braves, but I'll probably go Fried with the Braves. Maybe because with them being the defending champs, this might be a way to kind of recognize what happened that year and then award the Braves with the Cy Young this year because Fried did have a pretty good year as well. But I do see your point with Alcantara. Marlins had no expectations, and for him to pitch as well as he did, that's going to garner a lot of votes, I think, as well. So,
yeah, I know he pitched like 53 more innings than like Urias, but I don't know. I think I have Alcantara winning it. I just think he had just like a really good season. But I see your point with Fried.
I guess Jordan, who would you be going with?
See, I don't really put it in like that. I mean, I would say Alcantara though.
Okay.
Even though I didn't really pay this in Miami Marlins season this year. I know Julio Urias, he's good in LA, but I like I like Sandy though. I like him.
All right.
He does have 13 votes right now. Or expert picks, he says he has 13 votes.
Okay, so I mean, baseball media likes him. That could be a good sign for him.
I don't know. What my last stance on Alcantara is he had 6 complete games this season. The only other pitcher to even have multiple was Aaron Nola, and he only had 2. So.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a stat you should pay attention to because in this day and age where pitchers don't really go past 6 innings most of the time, to have that many complete games, that's a feat. Okay, I could be swayed for Alcantara to win it, but I guess we could look at
that's my pick.
No, I mean I think it's a good pick, especially with that stat. I didn't know that one about him. That might have him locked in. But let's look at the big award, the MVP now. So for the American League, you have Yordan Alvarez with the Astros. You got Aaron Judge with the Yankees. Shohei Ohtani with the Angels.
That's
I mean,
easy.
I'm assuming, Jordan, you're going Judge on this one.
No, I'm going Otani. No, sorry. No, I'm going Judge. I mean, look, man has 62 career home runs. Yordan Alvarez. Yeah, he had a good year, but like he wasn't really in the talks all year. It was Judge and Shohei. I'm not talking down on Otani because like he's like a generational talent, like probably the first ever, other than Babe Ruth, the first player to hit professionally or efficiently and pitch. That's hard to do. But Yordan Alvarez, until the playoffs, he wasn't really in the talks. Because Aaron Judge had to shine. You know, all the cameras are on him. With the home run record, you know, and yeah, I mean, and even in the interview with Steinbrenner, he said that we had an excellent like first half of the season, which we did. I think it was after the All-Star break where things kind of went downhill with injuries. LeMahieu got hurt.
Hey, Lennon, what's going on?
Stanton got hurt. So, yeah, I mean. I think Aaron Judge is a front runner. And Shohei Ohtani is right behind him, and then Yordan is right behind him. But Aaron Judge is going to win this award, no hands down.
You agree with that, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, he had like arguably one of the greatest like offensive seasons in like baseball history. So,
right.
I mean, Lennon. I think even with Judge not better, he still would have been had no award. I mean, even if he didn't break the home run record.
The one thing that Ohtani is always going to have, though, is the fact that he pitches and hits. And because of that, voters are always going to – because he's a really good hitter.
Yeah.
And then the pitching part, he's decent as well. And that can kind of push him over the top if it's really close between two guys. So I think that's where Lennon's coming from, where because Judge had the record-breaking year, it's like hard not to go with him. And it looks like Dante's weighing in. Alvarez did not enter the MVP discussion until after he got the contract, but Aaron Judge had no doubt a more consistent year. Yeah. So I do agree that Judge is going to win it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
Ohtani's a freak, though.
No, he's a freak of nature, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Like I think we had the thing with the difference between Cashman and like the old Steinbrenner, rest his soul, the old one that passed away a long time ago. The difference between Cashman and Steinbrenner Sr., Steinbrenner never hesitated. So say like he was a manager, right? Steinbrenner. He would have signed Bryce Harper. He would have signed Ohtani. You know what I'm saying? Like he would go after any player. You know, with Cashman, I don't know what's the problem. Like we had money to sign. We could have signed Ohtani, like, you know, or traded for him, like, but I don't know what Cashman is. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
that's a big trade you're asking for there.
But I'm saying, like, Steinbrenner Sr., like, even though I was not born yet to like witness him, you know, as a manager, but like I've heard that like he would not be hesitant to go after a big name player. Cashman's kind of like, he's like.
The thing with Steinbrenner was it didn't always work though.
It didn't always work, but hey, I mean, I'd rather take a shot and then not take a shot. You know what I'm saying?
You also have luxury tax to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough to go and spend all that money, then to pay a tax above it and not win a ring. That's rough. It's crazy that the Angels are 6-25 in the middle of the season without Ohtani pitching and with him pitching on the mound. They have a winning record. Yet the Angels are weird to me because they've had Trout and Ohtani. And it seems like they're nowhere near making the playoffs.
Trout couldn't stay healthy.
True, but I don't know what is with the Angels. Like, all the time when Trout was there by himself, they were like coming in last in that division. Maybe was it like 5 teams that's so like fourth or fifth. Then they get Ohtani, and now it's like they either come third or fourth.
Right.
So, and those are two of the best players in baseball. And we've seen other guys like Barry Bonds with the Giants. He was clearly the best player. The Giants were kind of perennial playoff teams. So it can be done. I know it's tough in baseball because you're dealing with 11 players at one time. And, you know, Ohtani can't hit every time. It's every 3 innings. But, I mean, with those two talents on there, it should be. And that's true, too. Yeah, they've never been able to get pitching staff,
No.
which is another thing. And the Angels have money too, so what are they spending it on?
What's up, Drace Moore? How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, what's going on, Drace? Let's see. All right, so the National League MVP. I know once again, Jordan, you say you don't really follow National League like that, but at least these guys, they're well known. So you got Arenado with the Cardinals. You got Goldschmidt with the Cardinals. I mean, two guys from the Cardinals. Look at that. And then Machado with the Padres.
I'm going Goldschmidt.
Okay.
I would say Arenado or Machado.
Man, I think Goldschmidt got it. I think he's.
I know, Kyle, your reaction. I know you don't like Machado, man, but
I think it's going to a Cardinals player. I think it's going to a Cardinals player. If it's not Goldschmidt, it's definitely with Hernando for sure. Especially with him getting that platinum glove. But I think just overall, Goldschmidt just had a better hitting season. 5 more home runs than Hernando, and then 12 more RBIs, more stolen bases, better OPS. So yeah, I'm going Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I like Goldschmidt, and that has nothing to do with my hatred for Machado. Because I will say, I have kind of softened on Machado just a little bit, like that much. Still don't like him, but it's not as bad as it was before.
Oh, how much? Cause I was on the ESPN. You're
not
like
that much.
All right.
No, I mean he's not as obnoxious in San Diego as he was in Baltimore. I'll give him that much credit.
I don't know why Baltimore let him go, man. Him, Adam Jones, they
weren't winning anything. That's the problem.
Crush Davis.
Weren't winning.
Where did he go? Man, probably like to the D League. I don't know if they have a D League.
Well, Davis, he fell off big time. He had that one big home run year, and then his batting average kept dipping and turned to the point he was hitting 175, and it was just once the home run started,
where did Adam Jones go? Is he still in the league too, or Adam Jones? I mean, we had Scope, or Baltimore had Scope.
I know.
Adam Jones,
yes.
What on the Reds, right?
Scope's still in the league. I know that. Adam Jones. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. He might be he might be out of the league, but
probably.
I know Scope. I think he played for the Tigers. I think Detroit Tigers. Yes. Or it might be your team, Atlanta. I'm not sure.
I think he's with the Tigers. Yeah, I mean, for those guys that you named in Baltimore, didn't work.
Yeah.
And now they had a pretty good year last year without those guys. So the Baltimore Orioles are a team that's on the come up.
Oh yeah, they're young. They're young.
I mean, definitely worried about them.
I think they signed back. Who's that dude that had that fight with Not fight, but that with Batista. He's on the Ricky Odor.
Oh yeah.
I think the Orioles got him. Yeah, so I mean they got some veterans, they got some young guys. I know they signed that catcher or moved up that catcher that was a rookie. He had a good year. So yeah, they're young, man. So
yeah. They got to spend a little bit.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see if the Yankees do good, the Orioles do good, Boston does good next year. That division might be competitive, but and Blue Jays, right? Learn that division too.
And the Rays.
I forgot about your team. Yeah, in the AL or in the.
Yeah, I mean it's always a competitive division, to be honest.
It used to be always just the Yankees and Boston, and then Blue Jays, and then Orioles. I'm talking about in the past couple 5+ years. The Orioles haven't really been in the conversation, but now, I mean, it was just Boston, Red Sox, Yankees, and then Blue Jays are behind them. But now Orioles are doing good now, so I'm going to be looking for that division.
We'll have to see if the Orioles can be consistent, because that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's good to they have so good young.
They signed this one, I think it was
nice.
Matt Holliday's son. In the draft, he's nice, man. Young dude, baby face, long blonde hair. I think he's an outfielder. He's looking good, man.
Yeah, I mean the Orioles. They. What? All right.
Yeah, post that picture. Post the thing on there. No, sorry.
No, I mean the Orioles. I'll give them credit. They're really good at getting young talent, but teams like that in baseball, the problem is once that young talent becomes really good, they become too high price for certain markets to handle, and then they just go somewhere else. The Rays ran into that problem a lot as well. So those teams like that, they have to hit on their draft picks. Hope within like a little window they could win a little bit, and then retool with their minor league system. So it's definitely gonna be tough. Our Red Sox have a lot of work to do. I mean, Dylan, your Blue Jays. I guess for you, what would be the laundry list that you would like? What is the one thing you want to see the Blue Jays spend money on in free agency?
We need a little bit of better. We just need more pitching, I would think. It was definitely like big struggling we had in the playoffs. I think a lot of it we need to learn to be more consistent as well. The Blue Jays are a very hot and cold team. Like we'll get on runs where we're just offensively crazy. Like we had multiple games where you'd score like 10, 15. We even had a game where we scored like 30 runs. And then we would just go in dips where we'd go 0, 1, 0, 0. Like we wouldn't hit anything. So we need to learn how to just not be, I guess, more of a streaky team, but also our pitching kind of failed us as well in the playoffs. So I think we need to get a better set of closers. Manoah can't be our only pitching threat that we have. So definitely a lot more pitching for sure.
All right, Dante. Count on my Red Sox, man.
He might be right though. Like he could be right.
I was about to say I was gonna answer this one.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You're Boston Red Sox.
I agree to a certain aspect. So JD Martinez, who's a free agent, bye. He can go. Devers is a free agent. I think next season or the year after. I'd like to see them get a new deal for him this season because you'll probably save some money that way. Because the way that he's going, if you wait, that price is just going to go up and up. Bogarts, I'd like to see him stay as well. But if it comes down to Devers or Bogarts, prioritize Devers. Although I think they'll probably try to get Bogarts this season. They'll probably wait on Devers, which will be risky. They brought Story in last year, like that move. First base, they got to figure out what to do there. They brought in Hosmer last year, but he got hurt like 2 weeks after he got here. Behind that, Dahlbeck and guys like that, that's not going to work. Move on from them. The outfield, they definitely need a guy out there. That's a area of weakness as well. And they need pitching. Sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. So, Dante, like you said, I can agree with blowing it up certain parts. Even if they tried to move Chris Sale, I don't think you'll get a lot for him. But unfortunately, I just think he's damaged goods right now. I know Walker's a free agent. I hope they bring him back. He had a surprising year last year.
Man, y'all gonna bring him back Big Poppy, man. Ortiz.
we'll be fine. I think that Devers is going to become the new David Ortiz type, where Devers plays third base right now, but if you needed him to become your DH, he can do that. Because JD Martinez has been the DH, but his production just dropped off way too much last year. And I don't think there's a need to bring him back at this point. They have a couple of young guys in the minor league system who might push through next year, like Mayer, Duran, who we saw a little bit this year, but I think he needs more time. So Red Sox have a lot to deal with, and in that division, the Yankees are better, Blue Jays are better right now, the Rays are better,
the
Orioles are better right now. So the Red Sox got to find a way to get out of the basement because fans in Boston are not going to like consecutive years coming in last place.
Have you been to a Red Sox game, Kyle?
When I lived in Boston, yes, I went to a couple of them. Fenway Park, I mean, yeah, it's not the biggest ballpark, but it's like a really good place to watch a game. And the way that they've improved it, because when I was in Boston, they didn't have the seats on the Monster.
Oh, it was just like just the Monster, no seats.
Yeah, it was just the Monster.
I wonder how much those tickets are at the top of that. Are they cheap? The ones at the top of the Monster, because I
think they're relatively affordable up there, and because of that, it's like a really hot ticket up there. But they've added like restaurants up in right field, up above there, and stuff like that. So They've made a lot of improvements to it for sure. If I guess visit Boston again, I'd probably go to a game. Might have to catch them when they come to Atlanta one time against the Braves. But yeah, nice ballpark.
I have to go to Canada to see my team, so haven't done that yet.
Rogers Center. I think it's still called Rogers Center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting ballpark because they have like the hotel at center field. I think it's still there, but
It'd be dope to stay there.
yeah, that's got to be a wild experience to stay at the hotel. If it's a game day, you just look out the window and watch it all. That's pretty cool design. I'll give them credit for that.
I'd pay the money, at least once.
I wonder if they'll ever add a second team back in Canada. It's kind of weird
Maybe.
having just Toronto.
Maybe, but I mean, they probably won't. There's probably other destinations they would want to hit first before they think about hitting Canada again. Because, like,
I mean, they
only
took the
places I could
Montreal
think would be
team,
like,
and Montreal they were actually good that year before they kind of lost the team, which was kind of weird. But I feel
yeah,
like
I'd
that's a
either be
good
back to
environment.
Montreal or like, I don't know. Yeah, probably Montreal would be a good. Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver's a great city for sports too. Yeah, well, no. Yeah, I think that's it for baseball right now. I mean, of course, next week we'll know the rest of the awards so we can react to
Yeah.
that, and hopefully there's some more movement in free agency. Because like I said, once the Rizzo move has happened, maybe we'll start seeing some other guys.
Like dominoes.
Who are the
Yeah.
other? I mean, other than Rizzo was off the market now. I'm trying to think of who other. I know Verlander's on there. I know Trey Turner's on there. Any other top free agents on that?
Got
I know
Bogarts.
Trey.
You got
Bogarts.
Bogarts,
Is
Correa.
Turner on a free agent?
Yeah.
Justin Turner.
The shortstop market is
Trey.
the deepest.
Yeah, the
market.
shortstop
Crazy.
market's
Aaron
crazy
Judge.
right now.
Because you got Swanson, Atlanta's a free agent.
Carlos Correa is a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trey Turner.
DeGrom, he's a free agent. Yeah.
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 The pitching market, shortstop, that's where a lot of the movement will be. I think for shortstops, it's going to wait for one of them to go off the board to kind of set the
Jose
market.
Abreu's a free
And
agent.
then the rest of them will probably sign.
Benintendi, but we might sign him back. Benintendi, he's on a free agent though. He was hurt. I think if he had Benintendi in the playoffs, it would have been different, man. 'Cause he brings that speed, that power bat. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Brandon Drury.
He would
have Nathan Evaldi, your pitcher. I'm looking at the free agent lists. Michael Brantley.
Well, the only thing right now is I think right now teams are extending qualifying offers to their free agents, and I believe they have until like Thursday or Friday to sign it or not. So the ones who do sign it, they'll come off the market. The ones who reject it will go into the free agent pool.
Yeah,
so it'll probably be after that period we'll start seeing more signings.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see the I'm gonna keep a close eye on the AL teams and the NL teams. Like the Yankees, what Cashman's gonna do after Judge, are they gonna bring them young talents on from the front, like Anthony Volpe and I think Pereza and Oswaldo Cabrera, there's some, I think because Volpe he played for Somerset for the AAA, and they're talking about bringing him up in these past couple of years, but I think this is the year that he can shine. Young, I think he's my age, 24, 23. So I'm excited to see this is probably the most deepest free agency market I've seen, as far as talent. Judge, Rizzo off the market, Trey Turner, Verlander, Bogarts.
I mean, in terms of big
Correa,
names,
big
been
names.
a few years, yeah.
So I'm gonna be. When does it end? I guess March. I guess when the spring training happens, or how long is free agency?
I mean, it can go all the way up until the start of the season, really.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I think a lot of the guys will like to get signed
now
early on, and then
don't you have the winter meetings? Damn, you cut me off, man. Damn, the winter meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, you get some signing during the winter meetings as well.
Gosh.
All right, so I think, there's going to be a lot that we'll get to talk about each week. But I think we can switch to NBA now. And with NBA, got to go with Am I Tripping Again, which started this last week.
Maybe he might
What?
be. Who knows?
Yeah, I was tripping on a couple. I'm not going to lie. But I think for the most part, I was pretty good with my thoughts. So we got another round of it this week. And I'm going to start. This is a homer one for me. Am I tripping to think that the Celtics are the best team in the NBA right now?
No, I don't think so per se. I mean, the Celtics are on what, a 7-game win streak. They're 11-3, first in the Eastern Conference. I mean, the Bucks are on a 2-game losing streak. I mean, the only other team record-wise would be the Bucks when you think about it. No, I don't think so. I mean, definitely the record proves that they're on a big winning streak, 8-2 in the last 10. I don't think a Celtic you're tripping at all. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are playing great. No, I agree with it.
All right.
So the question is, do you think is he tripping if Celtics are the best team in the NBA?
Yeah, I think they're the best team in the NBA. So if you think I'm tripping, you don't think they're the best team.
I'm trying to look at the different. I mean, they have the best record right now. As far, I mean, Milwaukee's right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for right now, they are the best team right now. I mean, it was the Jazz in the West.
Yeah.
But now they're 10-5.
Utah.
Utah.
You know they're undefeated at home.
Yeah, that and I think that's easy for younger players to play at home because on the road is a different environment where the fans aren't on your side. So that takes a different mental makeup to win on the road. So that's going to come with time with them. But yeah, I think at home they should be pretty good.
I think the New York Knicks are the best team in the NBA. I'm trolling, bro. No, yeah, Celtics are nice, man. They're how do you feel about that technical against Tatum, man?
I'm glad you asked because I was probably
I didn't see the game myself, but I saw the highlights. And what happened was I think it was like a foul or I think a missed shot on Tatum, and he was pissed about it for his own self.
It's a reputation thing.
That's all it is.
It's a reputation. Officials, especially last year, they didn't like Tatum's antics. They didn't like Grant Williams' antics. Marcus Smart, they kind of give him leeway because I guess he's earned that with the officials. And I know the player you're talking about because I watched the game. I think it was Tatum had missed a easy shot on the offensive end, and then they came back on defense, and there was a foul called, and he was kind of mad at himself for missing that shot. And like you said, he clapped his hands together, and they called it a technical because the officials took it as he was, try to show them up or whatever. So I expect the technical to get rescinded by the league office, but it's going to be a problem all season. I do think Tatum has gotten better with complaining. He did complain a lot last year, I will say that, but he doesn't do it as much this year. So I think as the year goes on, the referees will kind of lighten up on him. But yeah, that was clearly based off of last year.
Okay. So let me ask Coach Dante, he says they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. If he's still watching, I mean, who do you think the best team in the NBA is right now then?
Yeah.
I was going to ask him,
Yeah, I was going to ask him that too, but I thought he might have replied with that answer. So while we wait for that, I got another one for you. Am I tripping to think that the Brooklyn Nets might be better off in terms of on the court without Kyrie Irving? They have played a little better since his little suspension.
They have, but Kyrie's skill set, they need that shooting. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant can't do it all himself. I mean, that's a fact because against the Lakers game, yes, I think he had 37, 31 points, but obviously he was forcing shots in the fourth quarter. They don't have any bigs. I mean, they have Claxton, but he's getting clapped in the paint. He's getting claxed in the paint, like his last name. I think Joe Harris is on the. I think he's hurt or.
No, he's playing for them, but I think he's still trying to get back from the injury.
But I do think that having Kyrie to take the pressure off of KD would help. Just with the extra scoring, because obviously the youngins Who's that? The point guard? Not Seth Curry. It's the other one.
I mean, they play. Let's see, Seth Curry. They
Who's
play Patty Mills.
Yeah,
they
he has a
play-
mustache. 24, I think his name is.
Cam Thomas.
Cam
I feel
Thomas.
like Cam Thomas is. Oh, okay. I thought of Cam Thomas more as a 2 guard or 3.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
a
so-
whatever. He plays a guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they do need Kyrie, just because this has scoring, another scoring option.
Okay.
Because teams are gonna double team KD. So KD gonna pass it to? Curry, Seth Curry, or Cam Thomas.
Not Benjamin Simmons. That's not him for sure.
He's such a frustrating case. Now, I was never a big Ben Simmons guy because I saw him at LSU, and at LSU he never shot the ball either. But a lot of the college people were like, "Oh, once he gets to the NBA, he'll work on it and it'll just come." But usually, guys who can't shoot, they still shoot in college, and at least you could see maybe it's a form issue or whatever. Ben Simmons refused to shoot in college. So that mentality's carried it on with him ever since LSU. But even I made this statement, I do think the Nets need Kyrie, but I think what they need more
Oh wow! Look,
is
guys.
Ben.
Nets Bucks over to win the NL Man of the Year. That's just
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that and I was gonna wait.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I got the notifications right.
No, you're good. You're good.
And Dante is right on the money too, because at LSU, they had a season that wasn't tournament worthy. The committee was like, "Hey, you guys could go to the NIT and play." Ben Simmons didn't want to play in the NIT because that was like beneath him. He only wanted to go to the NCAA tournament. So when it comes to him and competing, I feel like there's always going to be issues with him there as well.
Yeah.
Where is there a team out there that I think if Ben Simmons is not nervous, or it's not like I don't think he's nervous. I think it's like, is there a team out there that is the right fit for Ben Simmons? I think that with Golden
that won't
State,
give him pressure.
I feel like Golden State, because of Curry. Obviously, Curry can help. They got 2 of the best shooters on the team. I know Clay's on a little slump, but still, like, I think Curry can help Ben find his shot. Why not? You're working with like I think Dylan
he doesn't need to shoot at this point. I think
he doesn't, but
that
that'd
ship
be a
is sailed.
huge asset. You know what I'm saying?
I just think a team that won't give him any pressure. A team that's not going to look at him to be like some sort of like big key, player. Like, let him just, work his way in and kind of play. Like, I don't know, put him on a team that's not going to make the playoffs, and I just let him just go, just take over.
I actually
play with some young stars.
I know the perfect place for him, because the more I think about it, Ben Simmons is the type you need to send him to a small market. In a small market, he can just be an effort guy. Won't be a lot of media attention. The Kings is one. I was thinking Oklahoma City. Only because, could you imagine Simmons, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and
Lou Dort? Maybe. It just depends on who they'd give up. They have to give up for Simmons.
Yeah, Lou Dort.
They have a lot of young people. Brooklyn technically probably should call Oklahoma City to.
I would not trade. I would not trade Giddey. I would not trade. Those 2 are off the market. Alexander.
No, I'm not even talking about guys like that.
Oh,
Oklahoma City has a lot of young players on the team where between draft picks, because they have a lot of draft picks too.
They need a big man. Brooklyn. They need a big man. Like someone who can I know Ben Simmons can grab boards for you, but you need someone who can help just in that game against the Lakers and Nets. AD was other than KD or Claxton, there was no rim protection for the Brooklyn. They needed a guy who can lock down the other block. Claxton is getting bodied by AD, so I feel like they need to find someone who can help out on the boards, because
I like.
You
I don't
you
know.
can get
I like
away.
the Kings.
I mean, the Kings is not a bad spot.
I'm looking at their roster and
Him and
like
Darren Fox is nice.
if you were the Nets and the Kings were like, hey, we'll give you like Kevin Herter, Harrison Barnes, and like Davion Mitchell and some picks for Ben Simmons, would you do it?
That would fix a lot of the Nets' problems. And for the Kings, they do have like a lot of redundancy on their roster because they have so many young players that in order for them to start winning, they're going to start having to, bring in veteran guys other than Harrison Barnes.
Right.
And I mean, I think that's a trade that probably would satisfy Brooklyn.
Hey, bro.
I mean, Davion Mitchell would give them a guard that can create for himself, a la Kyrie, but Kyrie's more inclined to score the ball. And I think Brooklyn needs a guy who can just facilitate, which is why Ben Simmons should work there. The problem is that he's just so mentally twisted up right now. It's that he's lacking confidence in like every aspect of his game right now. Because even defense is this thing that he's supposed to be really good at. He was fouling out all the time. So, I think you might sell me on Sacramento, Dylan.
I mean, like, yeah, if you think of a roster, it'd be like De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. You can run Keegan Murray at the 3. You could run Simmons at the 4, Sabonis at the 5.
That's not a bad squad.
Sabonis. I think Sabonis wouldn't be a bad mentor for Simmons.
Yeah.
Simmons. Oh, Sabonis is a good utility player. Drops like 28, 10. Something that could help Simmons out a little bit. No, I don't think that'd be bad.
Hey, when are you eating? I'm talking to my dog.
Yeah,
you'd still be the third option.
Right. There's no pressure to score there. There's some pressure to play defense, but like you said, you got Sabonis right there at the rim with you. Yeah, I wonder why Brooklyn hasn't thought about that. Maybe. We'll have to see. We're on the trade deadline. Who knows? Herter's a guy I like. I mean, I saw him with the Hawks. I was kind of surprised that the Hawks moved him because I thought he was a really good complimentary piece to Trae Young.
He was great in the playoffs. Like he was weird in the playoffs, though. He'd get like blocks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And they moved him for like Mo Harkless, who they just released like a week after the trade or something. It was clearly like
it was strictly up cap. Yeah. We had to extend John Collins. We're gonna have to give DeAndre Hunter money. Well, we did give DeAndre Hunter money, so.
All right. Let me think of another one here. Okay. Am I tripping in thinking that the Bulls are going to miss the playoffs this year?
What's their record?
Well, they're 6-8 right now. They're a half game out of the play-in spot, but I think last year they were a top 16 last year.
I'm gonna say yeah. As of now, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Like on the Wizards, for example, I'm not sure if the Pacers are going to be that good of a team. The Knicks are going to be that good of a team. The only other team that is below them right now that I think that will do better is, of course, the Nets. But there is teams that I think the Bulls can do better, especially with that roster. I think they could be better than the Wizards. I think they could be better than the Raptors. I think they could be better than the Pacers. So as of now, I'm not going to say no. I think they have a good chance. I mean, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan is a good roster, especially with Nikola Vucevic. Yeah, I agree with Dante. I think they could be a good play-in team for sure. With that roster, I mean, it's 14 games into their season. I don't want to count them out yet. I think they still have a good chance. It's not like they're 6 or 7 games back from the playoffs. They're literally just 1.5 from being a 6 seed. So.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Dante. Playing team, not a solidified playoff spot team, but obviously they can. I mean, obviously the big hit was Lonzo Ball. They need that. I mean, they had LaVine. He could put up 30 points a game, but I mean that hit by Lonzo, like of him losing. I think he's out for the year, right? Or like half the year this year, so.
I think there's still questions about that.
So
in terms of how long he'll be out.
Yeah, I definitely say them like a playing tournament. a playing team.
My only thing is, I think unfortunately, Lonzo's going to be one of those guys that just gets hurt a lot. And,
Yeah.
it is unfortunate. When he did come out of the
Yeah.
draft, I
Timmy-
thought he was drafted way too high. But, at least defensively, he's kind of a game changer defensively. But if he's not on the court, you lose that too much.
Yeah,
And he's a great facilitator as well.
Oh yeah. Like Dante is hitting on right on the nail, man. Like there's some other teams that are better than them right now. Like the Cavaliers. I mean, Garland's going off for like what 51,
Yeah.
41. I mean, Mobley.
We had 50.
50. Philadelphia with Embiid. Embiid had like almost like 60 points. Had a quadruple double. So yeah, Dante hit it right on the nail, man. There's so many other teams that are better than the Bulls right now.
Well, I think coming into the year,
Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I was about to say a team like Atlanta. I think Bulls fans probably were expecting to be at least better than Atlanta is. I think.
Oh,
Well, I'm saying like as a Bulls fan, they would look at Dante's list and be like, "Can we catch Atlanta?" I mean,
yeah.
talent wise.
I mean, Atlanta's beat the Bucks twice this season. The Bucks only have 3 losses. 2 of them are Atlanta. So just saying.
No, I mean, I mean, I'm one who can be critical of Trae Young. I don't like the logo shot. I mean, it's cool if he takes like 1 or 2 a game. Sometimes he falls in love with it too much. But I love the move of DeJounte Murray because DeJounte Murray brings an all-around type of game where he can score mid-range. He can get to the rim. And, Trae Young can get into the paint, but in terms of getting to the rim, it's a little bit harder for him being such a smaller guy. And I think Murray, kind of what Dante's saying here, yes, defensively is where Murray's going to shine because playoff-wise,
I mean, even playmaking, he's shining. I mean, playmaking, he's shining. He's had a couple triple-doubles this season. He's been really great on the passing end because, I think people forget in his Sacramento times, too. Of course, he's going to be there with Trae Young, but, he's still the leading scorer there in Sacramento, dishing out the ball, being a really great playmaker as well as a defensive piece.
I mean, San Antonio. I wouldn't say Sacramento.
You're probably thinking Keegan
San Antonio,
Murray.
Yeah, no, I was thinking San Antonio. I got stuck on S, and I was we were talking about the Kings earlier, so
that's what I'm saying. Keegan Murray, DeJounte Murray, yeah.
Was on San Antonio, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It definitely Dante again on a nail, hit on the nail on the spot. Hawks have they had Trae Young. I mean, they added Murray, and on the defensive side, you can see that they have stepped it up. Murray, is that kind of like that big body point guard. He's broad shoulders. And he had that dog on him. So, I think Capella's on that team. I think he's the center, right? Capella is still there. So,
I like my Hawks starting 5.
Yeah, I mean, with the Murray addition, what it does is, when the Hawks make the playoffs, good defensive teams like Celtics, Heat, guys like that, they would run a lot of double teams at Trae Young, and then that
beat him up.
That would totally kill their offense. At least now with DeJounte Murray, kind of what Dante alluded to as well, that now leaves Trae Young to be free to run off the ball, run off screens and all that kind of stuff. And Murray, if you try to double team him, he's a better playmaker in those situations than Trae Young is because he's just that much bigger and he's able to see over those double teams easier. So we'll have to see come playoff time. We'll probably see playoff time like Murray's value increase even more.
Right.
Well, it's also DeJounte Murray is not a bad shooter himself, but also you have to double team him. He can get streaky as well too, and you don't want to leave Trae Young just by himself 1-on-1 a majority of the time because that's where he'll get around you and score a layup or throw a lob. If you could leave him just 1-on-1 a lot of the time, sometimes you need to double him because then Trae Young will get hot, and then that's just scary.
I mean, it was okay. So the way the Hawks were, I could live if Trae Young had a 40-point game every once in a while. Because outside of that, the offense was kind of sporadic. Capella if it's not a lob at the rim, he's not really giving you anything offensively. Collins is a really good offensive player, but he kind of drifted to the perimeter too much and just kind of stayed out there. Whereas he's a guy who can slash and get to the rim and all that, and that's where he's really dynamic as well. So if the Murray signing creates more ball movement and more man movement, I think the Hawks could be a pretty good team come playoff time. It'll depend on matchups, of course, but they're not going to be a team that you can take lightly in any way. Of course not.
I mean, look at them 2 years ago, Eastern Conference Finals, and they were close to beating the Bucks too. Trae Young didn't get hurt in that series. It could have been a completely different story.
I mean, I have my caveats about that run. They beat a Knicks team that wasn't ready.
They still beat the 76ers.
And we know why.
Okay, and they still put 2 games up on the Bucks, and then Trae Young got hurt.
I gave him credit for the Bucks series, but I do think that Bucks series was a good chance for them to knock off the Bucks because Giannis missed some games in that series, but then Trae Young got hurt too, so that kind of hurt them as well. And then, it was a good run for a team that had gone a few years without a deep playoff run. I mean, that's always beneficial no matter what.
I have questions like about the Bucks. Like, do you think that, I mean, not just the record wise, but like when as the season dwindles and gets, older, do you think that health might be a factor for the Bucks? Because like obviously Giannis he's a phenomenal player. I mean, they have Holiday, but they hasn't had Chris Middleton back. I think their point guard Carter is doing pretty good. So I mean, other than
I'm not worried.
You're not worried about health?
Nah.
Giannis is one of those guys I would not root against. He's a guy. I'm not rooting against.
God forbid, what if Giannis? God forbid, what if he gets like hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt in that Hawks series, and people thought he was done. He was back within like 3 days. Yeah. He's just a freak of a human and freak of an athlete that even if he were to get hurt, I wouldn't expect it to be a long-time injury. Now, if he missed months at a time, of course, I'd worry about the Bucks. But for Middleton, they can handle a Middleton injury because Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday's playing great right now. I mean, he's averaging he's averaging 25 and almost like 26 and 8 right now. So I mean, plus he's that defensive presence. So yeah, I mean, Drew Holiday's really picking up the slack. Brook Lopez, I think, is having a better year than he did last year for sure. And then they still have Bobby Portis. So yeah, they're playing good. And like you mentioned, Jordan, Javon Carter's playing really well as of late too.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that interview. Like it was like a short interview. He was like, "How you feeling, Carter?" He was like, it was mad fun. He was like very short with his answers, but he was like very serious. Like I forgot what the questions were, but Carter, I mean, he came from the Nets, so. Mm-hmm. That was a big, obviously, I mean, it wasn't really a popular player because, like, on the Nets because, like, they shine with Kyrie and, KD, but he shining with Milwaukee, so.
Well, it's different systems.
Yeah, different systems.
Milwaukee, they play more guys because, one, they don't like to really use Giannis more than, like, 32, 33 minutes a game. So they need a deeper bench to kind of play around with those minutes when he's not on the floor, so they play more guys. Brooklyn, their rotation's like 6, 7, maybe 8 guys. Yeah. Milwaukee, they'll play 9, 10 guys in the regular season easily.
I just wish that Ben Simmons had the same mindset as Giannis where it comes to like shooting, because Giannis before, like, he was not a really good 3-point shooter, and he's getting up there with 3 points, but he has more attempts, but
I told you the difference, though.
Well, I'm saying, but Ben Simmons
never had that mentality, even in LSU.
I wish
Giannis
he did.
Has been a guy who's used to having to prove himself.
Right.
Because when he got drafted, he was real thin. People were like, "Look at this guy from Greece," and now he's got the broadest shoulders, and he just runs over people.
I saw Giannis when he was when he was like that way. He was skinny, like just a tall player. Yeah.
Rookie Giannis
was like 5 sizes too big. Yeah.
I mean, look at freaking Steven Adams. Like, he was a stick, and now he's freaking he's like, who's that? Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he ever needed an actor, he can fill his role, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at him. Like, you was skinny. Like, he's like, but I don't know what he ate. Adam was like some steak, some burgers. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, once you get in the NBA, it's
But imagine if Ben Simmons had that mindset. But like you said, he hasn't really had that. But the only issue with Ben is like he can't shoot and he can't, but he can defend. He can grab rebounds. Imagine if he can be like a corner specialist. Like, I'm just imagine how helpful that would be for the Nets.
I know if you could hit like
never
one,
gonna happen.
1-2 corner threes a game, one like corner three
That's
a
what
game.
I'm saying.
Man.
Like,
Never happen.
that's what I'm saying.
Just so
That's
he
what
could
I'm
have like a
saying.
little bit of a threat, he would be fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Never happen. I said the least he could do was develop a post game. He hasn't even done that. And I
He's
think
just
around
so-
the post, he could be, quick move, little hook shot, half hook here. He doesn't do it.
He's a point guard, right? But they play him as a center,
They only
He's a
put a
point
point guard
forward.
because
like a
you
point
don't
forward.
really have a lot of. You don't expect a lot of scoring out of point guards, so that was a
Right.
way to hide his inability to shoot. I don't know. And then every offseason he posts that video where he's shooting threes in practice, and everybody's like,
He
"Look,
never shoots a
he's
three in the
working
game.
on it. He's working on it." And then gets the regular season, never takes a shot. So I just don't get it with him.
I think the Celtics should get this. I think the Celtics should get Ben Simmons, man.
I guarantee you, in the Celtics system, he'd look better though.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, Ben Simmons wouldn't have to do anything.
Stand
The
here, big
problem
guy.
The problem is in Brooklyn, if Kyrie's not playing, you just have KD. You need Ben Simmons to be your second best player. Problem is, he doesn't want to do that. If you have Kyrie and KD, Ben Simmons has to be your third leading scorer. That's still asking a lot out of him. If Ben Simmons could go to a team where, scoring wise, we don't need you to do anything except for a couple of offensive rebounds and putback, fine. Then he can thrive in that kind of system. There's only a few teams that can offer that. And we kind of touched on, Golden State. If you went to a small market, Sacramento could work. Because at least in a small market, if he completely sucks, nobody's going to see it. And the media's not going to really get on him about it because small market teams, the media is usually so small that they only focus on one or two guys. So we'll have to see. I mean, Ben Simmons is still pretty young, but I don't expect him to change much at this point.
No.
Right.
I think I'll do one more. Am I tripping? Then we'll move on to the NFL. All right. So, am I tripping that I think I should be a little bit worried about Zion Williamson having another foot injury? I think it's worrisome.
Until like there's like an extent of how long it's out. If he's just out for like 1 or 2 games and he comes back and plays just fine. Nah, but if he's out for like a week or so, week 2, then yeah, I think we should start to worry again. I don't know what's up with Zion. Like, why is he always
Zion's hurt again? Damn.
It's another foot injury. I think it's the same foot he had surgery on. It might be a different injury, but I think it's the same leg.
I mean, I'm gonna say no until he's out for an extended amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Dylan. Like, I thought he was healthy. I didn't know he was hurt.
See, that's kind of where I'm thinking where Dante's coming from because we've seen Zion have.
Was it the same foot he blasted that shoe in Duke? Was that the same foot? Because
that was his.
remember that shoe got blown out like on that layup
That
when
was
he
his
twisted his
right leg, right? His right foot.
right leg.
It might be. That was still. I still couldn't believe that when I saw it.
Yeah, I thought he broke his ankle, man.
That was
Right, that's
crazy.
the way it looked. Because I was like, why would your shoe blow out that way? But I don't know. It's just weird that. But kind of like Dante's saying, because of Zion being a bigger guy, and he's already had a number of lower body injuries already. Every time I hear something about foot, ankle, something like that, I always get worried because
Yeah, it takes time to heal for a big guy like him. Man.
yeah,
compared to a Curry where he is smaller. I mean, I know he is. I know his ankles are frail. Like he gets a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
ankle
that's
injuries, but
documented.
it takes lots of time. It would take less time for him to get healthy than Zion because he carries more weight, obviously.
Hmm.
I think Curry has ankle brace on both ankles. I think.
Yeah, Curry's got like weak ankles, and he knows it, so he takes all the precautions. Especially with Zion as well. His game is predicated on athleticism and above the rim play.
Right.
So as a big man, all that jumping up and coming down, that puts even more added pressure on his legs. So that's why I just brought it up. So I guess, well, Dylan says he's not really worried unless it's an extended injury. Jordan, are you worried by another possible leg injury with Zion?
I'm kind of like on the fence because, like, obviously, depending on if it's the same leg or the same foot, that could be a problem. I know didn't he have to get surgery last year on it?
He
Yeah,
missed
he
the whole season.
Yeah, he missed.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm with Dylan. I think I have to wait to see how long the injury, how long he's going to stay out for. But, like we both pointed out, we all pointed out, like with his size, his weight, his height, his athleticism. But that injury, it can take a long time for that. Depending on how bad it was, it should take a while. But I mean, I don't think we have a timetable of his return. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like on the fence. I'm kind of worried, and then I'm not, just because we don't know the time. But it's sad because I want to see him. I mean, he's a former Duke player. I want to see him shine, man. Like, it sucks because he was up there with John Morant. I think John Morant was picked before or after him. And he was supposed to be the next LeBron, you know what I'm saying? With his athleticism, obviously he's not going to touch LeBron, but he was protected as being like the next LeBron with his, how he dunks and how he, blocks shots. And it's nice to see his talent kind of like with the injury, I think they signed him like a 5-year deal, I think. Zion. So, I mean, he's in there for a couple more years, but you can't stay healthy, man. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like you on this, where I would love to see Zion have injury-free season just to kind of see what that looks like, what kind of numbers he could put up, what kind of impact he could have in New Orleans, because New Orleans has a lot of talent on that team, but Zion is such a big nucleus of that.
right.
That if you take him away, they just look like a completely different team. So I know Pelicans fans hope it's not a big deal, but like I said, I'm just worried to see another leg injury with a guy like Zion who's already dealt with so much early on in his career.
Right, because like you said, he's more above the rim, like John Morant. I mean, in order to dunk, it's all about your midsection and like your legs. So like but he has bounce, but if he can't block shots because of his foot, or he can't defend well, it's like a UFC fight. For instance, hypothetically, if me and Dylan were in the octagon, right, and I had a major thigh kick or a leg kick, and I know that leg is injured, I'm gonna keep on hitting that leg. So just like Zion, like if people know that he has a foot injury, people are gonna just like attack that as his weakness and back him down. So I mean, so it's better than him to get healthy, get prepared, So
yeah, I mean, I will say that he did look like he might have lost a little weight this year.
Oh, he looked good. He looks good.
So yeah, so I think he probably might be on the right track in terms of nutrition or whatever, and maybe this isn't that big of a deal. Plus, going further into his career, if he continues to reshape his body, we may not even be worried about stuff like this in the future.
Right. I think he has to get on the phone with like LeBron or somebody who invests money into their body. Because obviously LeBron, I mean, he before he got really like muscular, LeBron was kind of back in the pre-Cavalier years, he had the same body type, kind of big, broad shoulders. I'm talking about like when he came into the league, not now when he
wasn't on. He wasn't like Zion level.
No, not Zion, but he was still he didn't really he wasn't really defined in muscle.
Oh yeah.
That's what I meant. But now we know that LeBron invests millions into his body. So obviously Zion doesn't have that money yet, but he started investing money to his body.
He's got money to invest in his body.
I mean, he does, yeah. But he has to use it to his advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron, like
he's got that
or,
Jordan deal.
Yeah,
or get a trainer, like get a better trainer.
No, the team assigns them for him. He doesn't even have to pay for his trainer, bro.
all right, yeah. I mean, I would hope New Orleans has some type of nutrition plan and all that kind of stuff for him.
I imagine they do.
Yeah. All right, so I think that'll end it for Am I Tripping? I think we go to NFL because I know we got a lot to talk about with the NFL as well. So, of course, for our review, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'll make more statements about the NFL. You guys let me know. All right, so thumbs up, thumbs down. The Vikings are the best team in the NFC. Based off of their win over the Bills. We know the Eagles got their first loss.
And
this was going to hurt for people on the network.
Oh, shit. So
I might have to go there.
Yeah.
But I would say slightly better.
Because look at Jefferson.
I don't care. The Eagles beat the Vikings. The Eagles beat the Vikings, and that's all I have to say. I'm still going with the Eagles. They lost, but they lost a close game to a Commanders team that still almost beat the Vikings. The Commanders barely held on. The Vikings barely held on and won that game. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm still going with the Eagles because the Eagles have a win over them. I mean, right now, if we could go who would win between the Eagles and the Vikings, I'd be like, well, they did play, and the Eagles did win. Kirk Cousins sucked because it was in prime time.
Right, that's always going to be the.
I'm going with thumbs up on this one. Like for right now,
I'll just say for right now, yes, I would just say thumbs up, and that's probably like recency because
they play again, right? Like Buffalo, in a couple of weeks.
They wouldn't play again until playoffs if they meet.
Oh well, I thought they were in the same division.
No.
Damn.
Let me see. Yeah, so I think the win in Buffalo. I think the Vikings just showed a lot in that because they had to come back in that game, and we've seen plenty of times.
Will we be saying this if I do agree with Kyle, like they are the best team right now, but will we be saying this like the only thing the Bills had to do was on that play where they fumbled it is just have Allen keep the ball, like what I'm saying?
Just win a coin toss.
Will we be sitting there talking about the Vikings?
Vikings lose time and time again because Kirk Cousins will throw.
Inexplicable Cousins had a good game that game. He put the ball on the button, like which Jefferson like.
Justin Jefferson had some great that great catch too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean what? Yeah, that was like I think it was like third down long pass. I think it was fourth down.
I don't know, fourth down play. Yeah.
He threw a Hail Mary in this like. Aaron Judge, not Aaron Judge. I mean Jefferson, caught that. Yeah, Aaron Judge caught the pass, man. No, Jefferson, yeah, he's man, he is something else, man.
All right, so another one, I guess, kind of sticking with the Jefferson theme. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league.
Yes, right now.
The best wide receiver in the league. I don't know. I got to see some stats. I mean, Tyreek Hill's having a pretty great season so far this year. Now he's leading the league in yards, and I'm not sure about touchdowns, but I don't know. I can't confidently say that. You have a good list of great receivers. I mean, Devontae Adams is not bad. DeAndre Hopkins is still up there name-wise. Tyreek Hill's having a great season. So Cooper Kupp, I know he just got injured, but I mean, he still won the Triple Crown last year, and he was still having a fairly decent season before getting injured. I wouldn't say that. I would say Justin Jefferson top 5 easily, but saying he's number 1, I'm not sold on that idea. So I'm going to go thumbs down.
I mean, I would say Cooper Kupp, but
he's really close. He's really close. You could convince me on a case on why he's number 1. I'm just not saying he is.
I mean, I would have said Cooper Kupp, but then he went. I feel bad for him. He went out with the high ankle sprain. People that are in a circle saying that it doesn't look good. I think I did get surgery today or yesterday. But just to answer your question, I think that Jefferson right now is the best receiver, and I would have AJ Brown at number 2. And then I would have at 3, I'll have Chris Webber. No, wait. I'm just sure. No. That's for number. So I'll have right now. I have Jefferson, A.J. Brown,
Okay.
number 2. Then I would have I would say Debo Samuel.
Okay.
But yeah, the answer to your question. Oh, I mean, there's so many receivers out there. Tyreek Hill, like you said. But like, yeah, Justin Jefferson is definitely in right now because of that game. Like, he had a phenomenal game.
Okay. For
I
me,
mean, I don't think that Vikings would have won that game without Jefferson.
yeah, I'm thumbs down only because I'm a big Stephon Diggs guy.
Me too. I like him. I like his
I
swagger.
like Stephon Diggs. But like Dylan said, there's right now in the NFL, there's a lot of good wide receivers.
Oh yeah.
So there's a number of people that if you were like, I think Justin Jefferson's number 1, I could be like, all right, I could listen to that argument. Or if you said Tyreek Hill, I'll listen to that argument. DeAndre Hopkins. So Justin Jefferson is definitely top 5, but yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. He's the best. He might have the catch of the year, but
who would y'all pick for number 1 for your receiver?
If I had to pick a number 1,
If it's not Jefferson, then who would it be for y'all?
I mean, I'm a Diggs guy, like I said. I really like Stephon Diggs. I'd probably go Diggs, then I'd probably go Hill, then Jefferson.
Yeah, I'd probably go Hill, Diggs, and then probably Jefferson.
Diggs, I mean, Tyreek Hill is a shorter receiver who can is fast. I mean, yeah, there are some throws that that Tua kind of overthrows to him because he's so short. You know what I'm saying? So especially in that Ravens game, like in the first half, since I was there, like he kind of overthrew. Tyree had to jump for it. So people don't realize how.
Well, that's what. Yeah, he's a great receiver. It's not even that he's short. It's because Tua underthrows him. He doesn't have the arm. Tyreek Hill has to run back to it.
Yeah.
Because Hill's probably the most dangerous with the ball in his hand.
Yeah, like with a run, like for that run after catch.
Yeah, but Diggs, I'm just a Diggs guy because
Diggs
the routes he runs, he's just tough. He's a tough guy.
Christian Kirk. Got Christian Kirk as the best receiver. He's my number 1.
I mean, I don't believe that, but
right now I have Jefferson. Right now, then I have AJ Brown, then Tyreek Hill. There's so many things. There's so many people you can put.
Can I say Travis Kelce?
I mean, the way the NFL is,
I can say Mark Andrews too.
Yeah, you could throw tight ends in there. Why not?
Mark Andrews.
I mean, Kelsey's 7th in receiving yards, and I'm pretty sure he's like tied for first in touchdowns, or he's not. Yeah, he's tied for first with Davante Adams in touchdowns. So,
yeah, there's a lot of good wide receivers right now. All right. So the next one, let's go. All right. So looking at the Washington Commanders, thumbs up, thumbs down. Taylor Heineke should just be the starting quarterback in Washington. I don't care if Carson Wentz is healthy or not. Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, he should start. I mean, I don't think I really have to go too far into it. They just beat the Eagles, who were undefeated. I mean, they've been playing better. The fans seem to like Heineke more. I mean, the team seems to like Heineke more. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say keep him.
I like Dante's list. Cooper Kupp, Davante Adams, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. I'm not mad at that order in any way.
I mean, a lot of the top 5 receivers are very interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we used to be like you used to have like a pretty consensus number 1. Like Davante Adams was pretty high up there when he was with the Packers. Like DeAndre Hopkins was pretty high up there throughout the years. But yeah, a lot now it's very interchangeable since a lot of those guys changed teams.
Yeah. All right, let's go with another one. I'll make these too obvious. Kind of make it a little challenging for you guys.
Well, are you how you doing? Are you like looking at like?
I'm kind of just looking at the standings, and then a question will come into my head. Sorry, so this one with Green Bay's win over the Cowboys this past Sunday. Green Bay is a wild card. Green Bay is a wild card playoff team?
Ah, man, that's hard to say because like in that game, like if the Cowboys would have went kicked the freaking field goal, it would have been a different game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I'm thinking some thumbs down. It's just like the Cowboys had that game and they had that game like they had the kicker warming up. But McCarthy wanted to get an edge on Aaron Rodgers, so yeah, that kind of bit him in the butt.
I guess just to give you context right now, so you can think about it.
They're under
now. The Niners are the last team in the playoff right now. They're 5-4.
Niners, holy crap!
And you have the Commanders at 5-5 as the first team out of the playoffs. Then you have Green Bay sitting at 4-6.
Shit.
The Giants being 7-2. The Giants being 7-2 just mess up everything. Because I'm looking at it as well, and it's just like they're just so weird sitting there.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to say thumbs down, but like I'm gonna have to say thumbs down unless the Giants like just explode. I don't think the Cowboys are gonna have a bad enough season to where they'll drop out. I don't think the 49ers will as well. Even if the 49ers play a lot better, you got to have to worry about a team like the Seahawks maybe still being in that wild card spot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, not unless the Giants blow up and the Packers can like sneak in and like the top three be like the Cowboys, 49ers, and Packers. Yeah, I really don't think anything. I don't think they can make it. I mean, they needed more wins earlier off in the season. They're kind of at a weird spot. Because, yeah, I don't know. They play a fairly tough schedule, I'm pretty sure, as well, too. So, yeah, I don't see them making it.
Yeah, that's going to be the next part of the give you some more information. So, Green Bay's remaining schedule looks like this. They've got the Titans at home.
Thursday.
Yep. Oof. They have to go on the road to play Philly. They go on the road to play the Bears. They get their bye week. Then they have to play the Rams. They go on the road to Miami. And then they end their season with 2 home games against Minnesota and Detroit.
Well, I think they could beat the Titans. I think they could beat the Bears. I think they could beat the Rams. And I think they could beat the Lions. The games that are going to be tough are going to be that Eagles, Dolphins, and Vikings stretch. If they go 5-3 in those games, that leaves them at what, 9-8? Oh, they can maybe win a couple more.
I mean, I can still feel the Titans beating them Packers because who's going to stop Derrick Henry? I mean, so that's going to be a factor.
It's going to stop Christian Watson.
I mean, it took this long, and Christian Watson had a really good game. Aaron Rodgers looks like could build something there. Worst case, if they don't make the playoffs, maybe all this talk about, we need to get a number 1 wide receiver. Maybe Watson is the guy if you just give him the opportunities. Who knows?
Put Jordan Love at wide receiver. Make him useful.
I wonder if they thought about that.
No, they probably did not.
Because Washington did it with Logan Thomas, but Logan Thomas was a really big guy at Virginia Tech.
Buffalo did it when they got Tyree Jackson out of Buffalo. He was like 6'8", but ran like a 4.4 40.
Mm-hmm. Could you use Jordan Love, Taysom Hill style?
I don't think you could run him like Taysom Hill, but it'd be interesting to have like a 2 quarterback like play where like you throw it to a quarterback and he already has the arm to throw it deep. It'd be interesting.
We know Rodgers' ego would never allow for that, but I wonder if they have thought about changing his position to maybe be a wide out. I don't know, but
I don't know because if Aaron Rodgers stays there in Green Bay and retires, like Jordan Love, man, he's in his 3rd, 4th season, and
let's say Rodgers plays like another 2 years. Jordan Love will probably have gone through his rookie contract never playing.
Yeah, I know. They're obvious. I don't think they'll pick up his 5th-year option unless the only thing that I can see happening is if the Packers really just stink the rest of the season And Aaron Rodgers is like, yeah, you kind of didn't do anything for me during the season or the off season. I want to go elsewhere. Other than that, man, they need to trade Jordan Love.
Yeah. I guess we'll go with one more thumbs up, thumbs down so we get our picks in. I'm going to go with. All right, so the Rams, we know coming off their Super Bowl year. The Rams are the most disappointing team in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's fairly easy for me. There's not a lot of teams. I mean, maybe you could say Denver, but Denver didn't win a Super Bowl last year. It's that simple. The Rams won a Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, if you go win a Super Bowl and now you're not looking like you're missing the playoffs, they're on a 3-game losing streak. They're not even close to like what 3. Yeah, they're 2.5 games behind in the division. So like,
let's see, Dante. I'm going thumbs up on that. But also the Raiders as well, just a dumpster fire. But I agree with the Rams. I would say the Raiders are in the equation for most disappointing, but yeah, I agree that the Rams.
Yeah, Rams and probably the Cooper Cup. Who knows how long he's going to be out for? Probably the remainder of the season. I mean, it's not looking too good, but we'll see.
What will determine that is
with a high ankle sprain. That's
well, I think the only thing that will determine that is that the 4 games that he's out, if they go like 0-4, he'll miss the rest of the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't rush him back anyway. Man. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. So that's why I was saying maybe out for their season, maybe make a wild card spot and maybe getting back in the playoffs. I know Odell Beckham's still out there, so you might get Odell Beckham just because of that. To fill that hole, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I'm assuming if Odell held out this long, he wants to go to a winner, and if Cup's not there, and the Rams tank even more.
Oh yeah.
I don't see Odell wasting his time going there to just finish out the season, not get the playoffs. I don't see that.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't want to go to a contender. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's good enough for Week 10 review. Now let's get into our picks. Week 11. Of course, got to start with the Thursday night game. So we got the Titans, Packers. Titans at 6-3, going to Green Bay, face the 4-6 Packers. Green Bay is a 3-point favorite in this game. So start with Jordan. Who you got in this one?
Thursday, I got the Titans. I mean, they're 6-3. And I mean, depending on who the quarterback's going to be, Tannehill or Willis.
I feel like it has to be Tannehill.
It has to be Tannehill, but I mean, Tannehill has been hurt a couple games, so. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm definitely picking the Titans in this game because they're kind of just going off. Maybe this win against the Cowboys gave Green Bay some motivation. But who's home? The Titans.
It's Green Bay.
Green Bay. So I might give a little edge over the Green Bay because they're home. But I mean Titans. I mean they're 6-3. Hey, you're going off. Yeah, so I have them winning.
All right, Dylan, who you got?
Going the Packers. I said it on the Sunday morning drive. I've been notorious for picking the Packers and hoping that they're going to turn around. And then I was like, I'm never picking the Packers until they turn it around. They turned it around yesterday. They finally got a win. So I'm picking the Packers. I feel like going into Thursday, they got a lot of momentum. The Titans are a good team, but they're going to be switching quarterbacks. You know, it's going to kind of be a little bit different with Ryan Tannehill. And Derrick Henry's good and all, but I feel like the Packers got momentum. That's a good sign. You like Aaron Rodgers with momentum. So I'm going to go the Packers. I like them.
All right. I guess I got to break the tie on this one. I think I'm going Titans. I know Green Bay beat the Cowboys, and I do think the Cowboys played a big hand in allowing the Packers to win that game. I just think
they laid an egg that game.
The way the Titans play, they're going to try to control the clock. Derrick Henry's going to weigh in on that defensive line and that linebacker group. I will say, if Tannehill plays, I'd go Titans. If Malik Willis plays, I'd probably go Green Bay. I just think Willis isn't ready right now. But I'm expecting Tannehill to play, so I think they get it done. But it'll be a close game for sure. Because I do think Green Bay looked a little bit better against Dallas for sure. All right, next game. Sunday night, we got Chiefs, Chargers, 7-2 Chiefs going to LA to face the 5-4 Chargers. The Chiefs are a 6.5-point favorite, so we'll start with Dylan on this one. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs with this one. The Chargers struggled in that 49ers game. They're missing Keenan Allen and Mike Williams a lot. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those Chargers help outside of Austin Eckler is not good, especially on the receiving help. It hasn't been great. They're struggling a lot. They're also missing like Mack and Bosa as well. Yeah, like Dante said, the Chargers are just injured. They have so many injuries. Their coach, who's their coach? I can't remember their coach's
Staley.
name. Staley. I thought it was Staley. I almost said Hackett for the Broncos, but no, Staley hasn't been great as well either. Yeah, I'm going to go the Chiefs. Too many injuries, especially on the offensive end.
Jordan, you agree with the Chiefs, or are you going Chargers in this one?
Coach Dante, you are banned from competent because you stole my idea, man. It's like, yeah, I would say Chiefs because Chargers, like Dante said, he stole it on my mouth. Like they have too many injuries on that side. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, like Eckler can do it all himself, and it's not all on Herbert. But the Chiefs have. Other than Juju Smith, I think he's out for this game because
he's probably going to be concussed. But Kadarius Toney killed it.
Yeah, he did.
He's so good. He's so shifty, man. Like,
but
poor Giants fans.
The only thing I'm worried about for the Chiefs is like their running defense. I think Eckler might have a field day because we've already known the Chiefs' run defense is kind of like on the fence. But that's the only thing I would say. Like, if the Chargers would win, it would rely on Eckler because they can use that Russian defense.
If Eckler has 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, I think Chiefs fans can live with that. That's the only points that the Chargers score.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I have the Chiefs. Winning that game though.
All right. Yeah, I'm going Chiefs as well. Like you guys said, too many injuries, and without Keenan Allen, once he's out, that Chargers offense looks so much different. If Keenan Allen was playing, the Chargers have a better shot at this. But yeah, I got to go with Kansas City. Monday night, we have the 5-4 49ers going to Arizona to face the Cardinals, who are 4-6. The Niners are an 8-point favorite. So start with Dylan on this one. Who you got?
Oh man, if Colt McCoy's playing, might have to take the card. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the 49ers. I think 49ers have it. They looked okay. I wouldn't say they looked great against the Chargers last week, but Elijah Mitchell definitely had a really great game. It's kind of weird, all that stuff they traded for McCaffrey, and they run Elijah Mitchell more last week, which I find a little bit interesting. But it's good he had a great game. I mean, spare McCaffrey for the playoffs if that's what you're doing. Make sure he doesn't get injured or anything like that. So fine with that. Yeah, I got the 49ers. Cardinals did win last week, but they won against a John Wofford-led Rams team. Right. So I wouldn't say that's super impressive. Yeah, I got the 49ers. Even if Kyler's back, it might be closer than -8. It's always a NFC West game. They're usually pretty close and competitive. But yeah, I'm going to go the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to Niners too on this one.
Yeah, I got Niners as well.
They had the better. Other than Hopkins, but for the Cardinals, but they got McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel. They had that defense. So, even though they're playing, it's fun because the Niners are playing better, than what the record shows. Obviously, McCaffrey's third, second, fourth game in. He needs to get more. He needs to get more adjusted. But once he gets on a hot streak, it's like a man. Like once he gets his X factor going, he's hard to stop. So yeah, I'm definitely picking the 49ers over this one over the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners only because I've said I think the Niners will be the team of the second half of the NFC. So I'm expecting them to run off. I know, Dylan, that'd be at the expense of Seattle, but I just think the Niners end up winning that division, but I do think the Seahawks get a wild card spot.
Don't write off Geno.
I'm not writing them off. I just think the Niners are ready to go on a little run here.
Better not. He won't write back.
Still the greatest line of the year. I just want to read this from Dante real quick. He likes the 49ers in this game. He likes the way
Yeah.
that Shanahan is using McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. See, Brandon. Okay, now you can stepping up the defense can generate pressure. Just think it's too much for the Cardinals. Kingsbury will be fired during the season or after the season.
I think he'll be fired. If he's gonna be fired, it'll be after the season. I feel like they're 10. Probably this is week 11. Yeah, there's no point of firing him now. I mean, at least see if they can make a push. They are 4-6, and if Kyler's not going to be out for an extended amount of time, I think that's a record you could work with. Very hard to work with it, but it's possible.
Yeah, I think it'd be after the season too. I don't think they'll do a Frank Reich thing and do middle of the season. I think
because it's not because like the Colts had like a couple wins. I mean, I guess the Colts have the same amount of wins as the Cardinals, so fair enough.
All right. So those are the primetime games. So now it's locks and upsets. Start with you, Jordan. Who are you locking upset for this week?
Well, you already know my lock, Kyle, from yesterday. I got the Ravens against the Carolina.
Man, Baker Mayfield's going to come back and surprise. No, I'm just kidding. He is starting this game, though. He is because
PJ Walker got hurt, so he's coming in as. So yeah, that's my lock. That's no brainer or no brainer. From an upset, well, I think who did I have from upset? I think I had the. I think from an upset, I think I had the Vikings because Dallas is a 1-point favorite.
Dante agrees with you. Ravens over the Panthers. You said what? The Vikings?
Yeah, because Dallas are a 1-point favorite. So
yeah, that would classify as an upset technically.
That's what I have out of my show yesterday on the Vikings.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
So yeah, I have that.
All right, Dylan.
My upset is going to be the Bears over the Falcons. The Falcons are 3-point favorites. The Falcons haven't been playing good, and Justin Fields has been running very crazy. He's been playing great. Love him. I mean, Kyler Murray's been out, and Fields has been my backup quarterback for fantasy for weeks. Played him last 2 weeks, and he's been going crazy. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Bears over the Falcons as my upset. And my lock of the week, I guess I'm going to go Buffalo over Cleveland. This is Cleveland's last week without Deshaun Watson.
Yes, because they have their bye week next week, and then week 13, Deshaun Watson comes back.
This is Cleveland's last game without Deshaun Watson. Bills just came off that close game against Minnesota, 8-point favorites. So I'm going to go Bills over the Browns as my lock of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Watson is back at practice. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
he can practice. So yeah, I mean he's coming back next week. Watson or 2 weeks.
2 weeks because they're bye weeks next week, and then
Watson's
back after that. Dante's trying to make enemies on the network.
Well, upset of the week would be Colts
Colts over the Eagles.
Jeff Saturday running wild.
Let me see. I think weirdly enough, Dylan's 2 picks are the picks I made on Jordan's show. But I got some other ones. So my lock, I'm gonna go Commanders over the Titans. That's my lock. Taylor Heineke, I just love when he's starting for Washington. He gives them the best chance to win. Now you'll have to worry about them maybe coming down off of the.
Who the Commanders? You said Commanders over Titans. Texans playing the Packers.
Texans.
Okay.
Yeah. Dante probably doesn't. I think Dante's a Texans fan, so my bad, Dante. But the only thing that you have to worry about is the Commanders coming off of that big win over the Eagles. Is there a bit of a letdown? But I just think the Texans have their own issues, clearly. But it'll probably be a very close game though, because the Texans, at least defensively, aren't that bad, and you got Damian Pierce as the running back, who's been a stud. Davis Mills, still a lot of question marks there, but I'll take the Commanders over the Texans. And then my upset. Where can I go with this one? I'm definitely not taking the Jets over my Patriots. I'm not doing that. Could happen, but I'm not going to be the one to say it.
Nah, I
Not a
need
lot of
Ramondre to
choices
have a
here.
game. And Ramondre better have a game.
Oh no, yes, but I got the upset. Give me the Raiders over the Broncos, because I'm done picking the Broncos. I'm done with them. So the Raiders are a dumpster fire, yes, but
We get a sad let's ride.
what's better than playing another dumpster fire in the Broncos?
What's the game that's Monday night in Mexico City? Is that who plays that?
The Mexico City game is.
I think is the Cardinals playing that game?
Yeah, it's Cardinals 49ers. They're going to New Mexico. That's right.
That's
Oh,
the
the Monday,
that's the Monday night. That's the Monday night game,
one of
right?
the games during the week. Yeah, so the Monday night, yeah, Niners Cardinals.
Oh, I thought that was Sunday night. Okay, so Monday night. Yeah,
Nah, it's
I
Monday
thought.
Yeah, I'll take the Raiders over the Broncos, and leave it up to the Broncos. That's probably gonna be a game they actually win because the Broncos just don't like me at this point.
Are the Raiders statistically out of the playoffs right now? Like, if they win games, can they get back in? Like,
yeah, dude, they would have to win out. They would have to win out to have a chance at a wild card. They'd have a chance. They have to win out to have a chance. Maybe they could lose one more and sneak in at 9-8 if they got lucky some way. But they would have to win out to legitimately have a chance.
They still play the Chiefs and Chargers, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, AFC. If you don't get to 10 wins, it's shaky if you get into the playoffs or not.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the pick segment, and then so do college football ranking. Try to get through this real quickly.
Did it come out? I was trying to look for it and I couldn't see anything yet.
I feel like it should be out by now. I think because of the college basketball, it's going to be delayed tonight.
I think it's at 9.
Well,
I think it's in 2 minutes. I think. Cause
I think it's like halftime.
I think the Duke plays 9:30. So then they had the AP 25 at 9:00. I think.
Well, that's depending on the Kentucky-Michigan State game because it was supposed to be after that game.
Yeah, I do want to shout out the college basketball, man. We are back in the swing of basketball. Duke's 2-0. They play Kansas. And it's a hard team to play, but we're 2-0.
North Carolina's 2-0. We're number 1. Oklahoma's okay.
Yeah, this is the first year without Coach K for the Duke. So it's a big blow, but not really because I think I can't pronounce his name right. The new coach.
Oh, John Shire.
John. Is it Shire or John Shire? I mean, I like the pick because he's very. He's
been on his staff for years.
Internal, I was gonna say internal guy, so like no problem. So like he's been under Coach K's wings for X many years. So I have faith in him. I mean, they got Dariq Whitehead. I think he's coming back. I think he's injured. So yeah, they got some. I mean, they got Jerry Roach. They got some talent on the team. So I'm excited. So I think they play Kansas at 9:30. And they got the AP rankings at 9. So I think we're a little bit short of like time, or not time, but like short of the AP by a little bit.
So what we'll do then is give me your predictions for how the top 4 will line up.
Same as last week. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. Then you're going to have Tennessee and Oregon lost. I think USC will jump LSU and take that 6th spot. So Tennessee, USC as my first 2 out.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the same thing, like the same as last week's.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with that.
Nothing really changed, really.
Yeah, you could see LSU. I could still see LSU at 6.
That win against Ole Miss, but
I could see LSU at 6, but they played really close to Arkansas, and I'm not. No, USC had a pretty comfortable win. So, and
I think the committee loves USC, so they're gonna probably bump them up to 6.
Well, also, I think it looks nicer if the team who's going to be the Pac-12 favorite since UCLA lost as well too. The team that's going to be looked at as the Pac-12 favorite, you're going to have them at 6.
I thought Clemson wasn't. Are they still in the race?
No, Clemson. Hey Dante, Clemson lost to Notre Dame, so they're like at like the 8 or 9-ish range. So they're not going to jump in for a minute.
Yeah, Alabama. They're like right next to Alabama.
USC and upset watch versus UCLA.
Yeah, definitely a UCLA team that, especially a UCLA team that lost to Arizona last week. They're going to be a little bit hungrier for a win. So
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll go into final thoughts, all because we'll talk UFC for a little bit, and then if the rankings do come out by then, we can talk about that to end the show. But yeah, so final thoughts. We're going to talk about the UFC.
It's a close game, 58-56.
Right, so if that game's going to goes into overtime, that'll just delay the rankings a little bit more. But yeah, I guess who wants to start off talking about the UFC main card?
I didn't really watch the prelims.
I watched
Yours
it all.
on main card.
I wanted to watch that fight. Aaron got that knockout, right?
Yeah, first round. Well, she got a submission, got an armbar.
My submission, yeah. But yeah, the main card was Michael Chandler against Poirier.
That was a great fight.
That was a great fight. Apparently there was a thing where I think when Chandler had Poirier up against the cage.
Yeah, he got a fish hook in his mouth. Fish hook.
Well, did it call that, or did the ref didn't see it?
Nope.
No, the ref didn't see it. It was really kind of hard to see. Even the broadcast booth didn't really see it at the start. But yeah, he got it. Chandler said it was accidental. Poirier said he was pretty confident he did it on purpose. It's water under the bridge, though. Poirier won the fight.
Yeah, Zhang Weili.
Zhang Weili, yeah.
Or Zhang Weili. She did her thing.
It was expected. She was expected to steamroll Esparza. Esparza had a horrible championship fight against Rose Namajunas. Yeah, Zhang Weili's crazy. So yeah, I had Weili winning.
But the thing that shocked me was that the main fight, Adesanya, he was winning up until the round 5, and I was going y'all watched me in the group chat. I was livid. Obviously, even if Adesanya was I was still conscious. Yeah, he kind of stumbled over a little bit. But he did get knocked. Was it rolled a TKO or a knockout?
Yeah, it was a roll to standing TKO. Yeah, it was a roll to standing TKO.
Knowing that, he did get rocked a little bit toward the end, but he was still obviously his eyes rolled back. But after that, he was about to get up, so I'm not sure why they stopped the fight.
It's tough to have your eyes roll back and then be like, "Oh, I'm good." I'm good.
I'm an Adesanya fan, but
Adesanya was dominating that fight the whole time. Oh man.
At first, I was kind of against it. I was like, man, he was kind of dodging, but
he was dodging the last couple of punches. So.
I think Pereira was gonna. It was just only a matter of seconds till he was gonna hit him again, even if he was dodging it. So I don't hate the stoppage. No, not a big fan of it, but I don't hate it. Adesanya was winning on the scorecards 3-1. He'll get his rematch when? I don't know. They just announced a suspension, so he has a 60-day suspension, so he can't return to the octagon for at least 60 days. Yeah.
What do you do?
It was a standing TKO. Every fighter gets suspended. If you don't get injured, it's 7 days, and then just depending on what happens, it's 30 to 60 to 90.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So it's not like he did anything wrong. He was just.
Yeah, they just probably assumed the damage he took was enough to get a 60-day. So, yeah, which at least has him out till January. They have a card in February, which if he has a double suspension, that means I think that's going to be a little too far for him. So, I don't know. We'll see. But he should get his rematch.
Yeah,
I think that's the favorite fight there. There's not really anybody in middleweight good enough, not unless Hamzat moves up. But again, I don't think that there's anybody in middleweight as of now, unless Robert Whittaker wins.
He was putting pressure on Adesanya. I didn't know Alex Pereira was that big, man.
He's a big guy.
He can fight lightweight or not lightweight.
Heavyweight. Yeah, he fights at I think his fight when he fought Strong Strickland, he was up to 220 as after their weigh-ins or 215.
I told the group chat in order for Alex to win, he needed to either get a submission or a takedown or a knockout, and that's what happened. Adesanya would control that fight. So
Adesanya, every time Adesanya got walked down, it was just too much. Alex Pereira's pressure was just too much. Israel Adesanya, one of my biggest problems with him in that fight is he was getting himself too close to the cage side. That's where Alex wanted him. He wanted to shorten the distance. Right. Israel Adesanya should have been kind of like the matador. He should have been the one kind of creating the open space of the cage. He should have been walking Alex around, pushing him, creating pressure to create his range. Because when Israel Adesanya could stay in his range, stay in his flow, he's piecing him up. You got to look at that first round, for example. 5 more seconds, 10 more seconds, he would have knocked Pereira out. Pereira was wobbling after that first round. I mean, he had that late punch. He had that late-ish punch, but I mean, like, still, Pereira was wobbling. So, I mean, yeah, sucks.
And I think that nobody noticed, but like that, I think it was like the 4th round or like 5th. Well, he got knocked out in like the early 5th round, but like the 4th round, like middle, like they did like a leg check, and I think that hurt Adesanya.
Yeah. He said he said earlier he got kicked in the leg and it kind of shut down. I'm not sure how sure this is. Some fighters like making excuses, but he said it shut down like his peroneal nerve in his leg and kind of messed up his footwork. And after he did that leg kick, kicked him, and the leg was already still compromised, so he rolled back and said he also said he's expecting Pereira to like throw a knee at him when he was rolling back. So he kind of like knew he needed to roll and dodge really fast.
Right.
But he said his footwork was compromised like after a pretty early leg kick. I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah, I think it was a leg check, which I think Joe Rogan, I think he was like, oh, like when it happened, he was like, oh, that's a leg check. Oh man, because I heard that.
It sounded nasty. It was like a loud leg check.
Like, what are the leg? I mean, I know what I would check, but like, what are the leg checks for? Like, if I kick you in the leg, how do you check that? Like, how do you?
You basically kind of like lift it up to like kind of like block and try to have shin hit shin.
Oh,
per se.
So isn't that like when Silva broke his leg? Isn't that kind of what happened? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Chris Weidman too.
Mm-hmm. I did see that.
That was nasty.
Yeah, Weidman hasn't fought since then, I don't think.
I think he was in the crowd though at MSG. Mm-hmm. I think he was there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a good card overall. I mean, Zhang Wei Li got the belt. I know, Julian, you were happy about they announced the card, like the surprise fight or something like that, like the 2 fighters that were fighting. You were happy about that card for next card.
Oh no! I already knew about 282, but yeah, 282 is going to be exciting.
Remember they announced like it was like a live.
Yeah, 284. In Perth. Yeah, they're doing. They announced. They officially announced Islam versus Volk for. Volk's chance to become double champ.
Fighters that you said you were hyped about.
Yeah. Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett are fighting for the interim belt.
Yeah, that's what
Which I'm not sure if I would per se have that as my interim fight. I thought Arnold Allen maybe should have got the nod. I didn't think Josh Emmett beat Calvin Kattar the first time that they fought. The time that they fought. I thought maybe you give it to. I maybe would have preferred Arnold Allen versus like Max Holloway for an interim belt, but I'm fine with it. Not a big fan of Yair Rodriguez. He was kind of crying, saying he wanted a title shot after winning one fight. So, I mean, it's fine. There needed to be an interim belt. The featherweight division needs to move on, especially if Volk's going to move up and try to be double champ. So I'm fine with it. I maybe would have preferred Arnold Allen to maybe take one of their spots, but yeah, I'm excited for it. It's good. I just like when good fighters fight. I like when top fighters fight. So
yeah.
I mean, you guys didn't talk about Puelles or whatever and Hooker.
Oh yeah, Dan Hooker and Claudio Puelles. That was a weird fight.
Really weird.
Yeah, Puelles kept trying to get after Hooker got out of that first knee bar. Really, I mean, like it was kind of just like over. I mean, Hooker was just hitting him, knocked him out with a body shot, which is not something I really per se.
That was against the.
The dude just kept like sitting down because he kept going for his leg, and then when he wouldn't get it, he just sit back. And then
I kept trying to Imanari roll and just could not get it. Just could not get it. He threw I'm pretty sure they said after the first round, he threw 4 punches. It was just a weird fight, but I mean, hey, Dan Hooker was he lost 4 out of his last 5. He needed a win. So, I mean, good for him. Hopefully a decent fight for him coming up soon. But yeah, that was just it's a weird fight. It was a weird fight. I never watched Claudio Puelles before this. I didn't watch any of his fights beforehand. I was just kind of I'll see how he is. He's a young submission star. I'll see how he fights. And yeah, good thing I didn't do any research because I hope his other fights weren't really man, that just sucked.
Yeah,
but good for Dan Hooker. Good for Dan Hooker.
I mean, would you really want to see another fight from him?
No, not really. I imagine he'll get one. I mean, he's now just 13-3, but oof. Yeah, he's had big submissions. Yeah. Oh man.
And then,
good for Dan Hooker though.
Frankie Edgar. The
Yeah.
retirement
Ooh.
fight wasn't the best
Yeah.
ending to a career, but
Yeah.
that
Man,
happens in the octagon.
the UFC just does a horrible job at retiring their legends. Like you look at Israel Adesanya, well, not Anderson Silva. I'm pretty sure his fight wasn't great. Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo. Like I don't know, the UFC does a bad job at like showing their fighters like respect after they retire. Like, man, respect to Frankie Edgar. I'm not even sure if it's the UFC's fault 100%. Maybe their manager could have probably done something better about this, but yeah, it was not great. Chris Gutierrez, good for him. Got that first round knockout. I feel like he's in a horrible position though with it all because like, man, he's kind of looked at as a villain now. Like you just knocked out Frankie Edgar in the first round with like a knee. You made him go stiff. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks. It's just not a win-win for anybody in that situation. I heard they were going to give Edgar someone like Rafael Assunção, who's like 38, which is like a fight you probably should have made. With an older, kind of not, I would say, veteran in the division. Yeah, it sucks. You don't want to see legends go out like that. It's kind of just been like history. I mean, one thing that was making me mad, and I'm pretty sure Ariel Helwani mentioned this as well too, is like I hated that the broadcast booth was basically saying like this was meant to happen, like this is how it happens, this is what it's supposed to happen. Like no, Frankie, no, we don't need to see our legends fight young and up and coming stars and see them get slapped. Like have them fight other legends. That's what we want to see. So It sucks. Yeah, I don't like to see it. And you never want to see legends go out like that. You want to see them actually have some good fights. So props to Chris Gutierrez. That was an amazing knee. You'll probably get Frankie Edgar's 12th ranked spot after that, or at least up in the rankings, 13, 14-ish. But yeah, just not a good time. Not a good time for sure.
Okay. I just wanted to show this from Dante real quick, and then we'll go final thoughts. Yeah, he meant to say, he forgot that Clemson lost to Notre Dame.
Oh, you're good. I forget about Clemson. They're not memorable this year, so.
Yeah. All right, so with that, I guess
it was a good show, y'all. I mean, like I said, college basketball is upon us. College football's we're getting down to the end of that season.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about it the other day. I was just thinking, I was like, man, like we're getting to final couple weeks and we're gonna get some conference championships and bowl games. And I'm like, man, wow.
Yeah, like the NBA is still young. NFL, like each team is getting their bye week, so that means we're halfway to the NFL season.
Yeah.
MLB trade deadline is coming up, so free agency. I'm sorry, free agency, not trade deadline. So yeah, I mean, I'm watching this game 260, Michigan game. So yeah, I mean, we're still early. College basketball this is a good show, and yeah, I mean, we're gonna have more to talk about next week. With more moves for the MLB.
Oh yeah.
Well, Dylan, got any final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, everything Jordan said. Like, yeah, seasons are getting under the way. Good college basketball's back. Finally have more stuff to watch. College football's winding down, which kind of sucks. I mean, we're really gonna kind of see the shape of this playoffs. We're getting slow. The list is getting smaller and smaller, especially with some of these upsets that have happened last week as well too. So the list is slowly starting to dwindle down. Big college basketball guy, love it. March Madness is one of my favorite times, so it's always good to see college basketball start up again. NFL's getting pretty close, and then NBA's gonna get into their swing of things, and like Jordan said as well, MLB playoff time. So yeah, UFC's gonna have an event, and they're gonna, I think, take a 2-week break. So nothing big coming out of that end.
Yeah.
And I am back into UFC, so hopefully we do talk more UFC.
I know. We were all pretty active chatting about it.
Well, that was a good time, and the Edgar thing and all that. But I mean, it was good to finally get back into UFC for me. So I'm definitely back on that. But
I had to go back to my streaming, or like it was horrible, man. Like with the lag and everything, but.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got in there and it was clear. And
but yeah, so other than that, appreciate you guys in the chat, especially Dante. I mean, you killed it in the chat today.
Yeah, man.
Also the YouTube viewers and those on Tiki Live. For those on Tiki Live, stay tuned because I think Chiefs Asylum might be coming up next, but I don't know. I'm sure something else will be on. But you guys as well, make sure you subscribe to Sports Empire Network or you follow Sports Empire Network because a lot of great shows on here. Even as I said with Dante, he's got some play-by-play type stuff. Great watch, so make sure you check that out when he does do one. Gene, Marcus. Well, Marcus, I did say his name, but Friday night, I'm just advertising for another show on here and one podcast. You guys have to check that out. I will be on there. Jordan will be on there. I'm not going to spoil it or anything. It'll be a good time. But yeah, so like I said, the channel's got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of new faces coming in. It's all been really good so far. It's just continuing to grow, so you guys got to get in while you can. And yeah.
So like Kyle said, you do not want to miss that Friday episode. It's going to be hilarious.
Yes. Also, Pregame Pigskin, I'm on there Thursday nights. So definitely check that out as well. And, Dylan's got Sunday Drive.
Yep, I got Sunday morning drive.
Yeah, talking NFL.
Yes.
Yes. So, Jordan's got you got your show as well, which I do.
We just did it on Monday because just in case my show doesn't run into like the M1 podcast because this show was like 2 hours. So if he had 2 hours, it's 15, and we ran into like the show. So we got that. It's out right now. I think it's out now. You check that out. The JJ Sports Talk. That's on Apple Podcasts, Apple or Spotify, Amazon Music or Amazon Podcasts. And same with this. I think it's on YouTube, right? Tiki TV and
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. And I think Twitter is still right, or no, not.
No, this one's not up on Twitter. It'll probably go up later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got a lot of things cooking up. I know Thanksgiving is next week, so I'm not sure we're gonna have any shows next week for holidays. I'm not sure.
I'm sure we will. I don't know.
Yeah. But ours is on Tuesday, which is good. Thanksgiving is on the Thursday, so.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, hope y'all are staying safe, staying healthy. I know in Jersey it was like 60 degrees. Now it's like 25, 20, 30.
Snowed yesterday here.
Oh, for real?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's November. Weather gets weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so guys, that's it. That's another show in the book. It's the Big Three Podcast for Jordan and Dylan and myself. We're out of here. Hope you guys have a good night.
See you guys later.